Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Grid Penalty, the Formula One podcast for everybody. And boy, did we have a race for everybody today. We're in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, at Interlagos, and hell of a race. With me, as always, Geoff Tice. Geoff, How are you? I hope you're doing well.
I feel incredible.
Before we get to how you're doing spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, let's dive into plugs, and then we got a hell of an episode for you. Geoff, what do you got coming up?
Let's get it. I am so fired up. What an incredible weekend. You can find me across all social media at Geoffrey Tice, GeoffreyTice, on all social media. I've been posting some artwork, some comedy clips, so follow me there. You can also catch me if you're in the Denver, Colorado area. This is in Golden, Colorado. This Thursday, November 17th, I will be headlining Brewing comedy show in Golden. And then December 2nd and 3rd, if you happen to find yourself all the way in the northern region of our beautiful country in Fargo, North Dakota, I will be at the Sanctuary Event Center with Josh Blue. And the next night, I will be at the Northern Lights Casino in Walker, Minnesota. So if for some reason you live in an igloo north up in the northern area, swing through and check us out in Fargo and Walker. And then other than that, if you are in Fargo and you're like, it's too cold here,
yes,
I need to go somewhere else. Here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to hop on an Amtrak train. No idea if they have those all the way out in Fargo. I'm guessing they have a lot of trains. So
they got to get that coal down here somewhere.
I was going to say, I'm guessing there's some industry up there. So find yourself a train yard. Watch out for the train yard guys who might kill you if they see you. You're going to want to just see what trains are going north and south. You don't want to go east-west. You want to go definitely south. Hop on one of those coal trains. If you can get a different train, maybe something that's male-centric, it'll move a little faster.
Or people-centric, but go ahead.
Or people-centric. If it's got Amtrak, it also moves. You're going to want to duck down until it's dark. Then you can enjoy the stars, train hopping all the way down to Union Station in Denver, Colorado.
That's a long trip.
Yeah, just do it in one shot. Take some snacks, maybe some pretzel combos, and then you're going to want to hop out at Union Station, get on the FF1, which will take you all the way to 15th and Canyon in Boulder, Colorado. Then you're going to want to take an Uber over to 28th and Valmont, and you're going to get out, and there's a place called Vacuums R Us. That is not the place you're going to want to go. That is right next to.
Yeah,
that is
true.
Right next to. I see that place every time. I'm like, why is that still around? Don't go to Vacuums R Us. You're going to want to walk into the Rayback Collective around 6:45 because every Sunday night at 7 p.m. there is the Boulder Comedy Show in Boulder, Colorado, and it is the best show in the whole goddamn world. So yeah, other than that, you can probably find me there eventually, co-hosting and or hosting the Boulder Comedy Show, 7 p.m. Rayback Collective in Boulder, Colorado. Brent, where can the good people find you besides on a train from Fargo to Union Station?
A couple shows coming up in the Denver area, a couple in California as well, but 4 coming up in Denver starting this week. This coming Wednesday, November 16th, I'll be headlining Ratio Beer Works. The Friday, the 18th, I'll be at my show, Faded Comedy Denver. The 19th, I will the 17th and 19th, I'll probably hopefully be at Comedy Works. We got to find that out.
Yeah.
That's not how the schedule works. And then I will be in person at the Boulder Comedy Show. So if you want to come see me in person, please come do. I'll be there on the 20th. And then big news, I'm headlining the Comedy Works South on Friday, November 25th, day after Thanksgiving. Come see me. I'm headlining the late show. It'll be a good time. And then I'll be in Long Beach, California at Que Sera for Bear City Comedy on December 7th.
Nice.
That is where you can find me. You can also follow me at I am Brent Gill. Been putting up some fun videos. I put up some Formula One videos. One of them got 28,000 views. The other one got 800.
Nice.
Pretty cool. And I put a lot of work into one, minimal work in the other. And bet you if I'm mentioning that, you can guess which one blew up and which one did not.
The algorithm, the
I fucking hate the
all-powerful
algorithm.
algorithm.
But yeah, so that's
tough.
that's what I have been doing, and where you can find me at I am Brent Gill. Also follow our producer Kat Orlean at KO Recording. All right, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, how you doing?
All of them, tens
Tens
across the
across the
board.
board.
Tens
Let's
across the
go.
board. Life is good. I couldn't feel better. Life is good. I'm having a great time. How are you feeling? Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally?
I'm feeling pretty good. I was in Dallas this week, doing
How was that?
golfers. It was good. I was heckling some golfers. We raised so much goddamn money for cancer research.
I love that you say you're just heckling golfers, but like I know some people know that it's like an actual corporate company event that you guys run. I like the idea of just you being like, I was just yelling at golfers, dude.
I was just in a bush with a bullhorn,
killing time before my show. Might as well just go yell at some golfers.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. You raised a bunch of money.
Dude, we raised like $5,000 just on our hole. Yeah, it was awesome. So that was really fun. But the more fun part of this is and I will not elaborate.
Stealing that money.
Oh, we only made $1,000. That's
crazy.
Real cheapskates out there. Just don't look at the receipts. My buddy out there, a longtime friend of mine, I've known him since 5th grade. And he for lack of a longer explanation that I will not give anybody, has a line on affordable frame off restored old
trucks.
Land Rover Defenders.
Nice, very specific.
Oh yeah. So and I'm talking like these things are dope. And so he was showing me the one he bought, told me what he bought it for, and I'm like, bro, we need to drop a fucking V8 LS3 in that thing.
Right into the Brent LS pitch. This is what we need.
I'm so ready. I was like, we need to drop an LS in that, and we need to flip that bitch. Like, put it on. If it looks this good that you're showing me, like when we get it, we should drop an LS in there, put it on fucking Bring a Trailer or Cars and Bids, sell it for like, I don't know, triple what it would cost, and then make a business of it. Also, I know Spade is loves these LS swapped cars, right?
Oh,
so I was
funny.
like, we could build one of these for Spade, get him in. We can make a show. So I'm like, let's make a show. Let's fucking do that. Like, I have all this shit that I'm just read in my head, and then so it's possible. They're all pumped. They're all very excited for it. I'm like, I really think we can do this, y'all. So I've been thinking about it a bunch today, and it was kind of lumped in with those other two things you and I were doing. And so my thought is, all right, maybe instead of taking this fully restored Land Rover Defender, maybe we start with this Jeep you don't know what to do with. Put the motor from that Yukon you broke in the Jeep, and then just see what this flip process is like, and see if you even have the fucking time, money, or engagement to actually flip this.
Do you want me to answer all of those questions for you?
I don't know, because I don't like your answer. If I wanted your answer, I would have asked you questions, Geoff. I'm just telling you what I want to do.
Yep.
But I do think, Spade just spent a grip of money on a LS3 swapped Jeep Cherokee.
Weird.
Yeah, I got a grip of money, and so I'm like, well, if that's the mark, and he was telling me about all these LS swapped cars he's been bidding on, and I'm like, dog, we'll go make you one for half this price.
Yeah,
that's not going to be that hard. I know the people, so I'm thinking of maybe doing that with the Jeep. And then or I thought, why don't you sell the Jeep so you have money to fix this Z3 you're hauling back to Denver today. Look, it's a lot of things that I'm trying to juggle right now.
A lot of logistics going on. That's all good.
If it's true that this Rover comes like we were expecting it to come, I'm selling all my cars and buying one of them. that's for sure. I mean, it'd be so sick. So I had a very fun time in Dallas. It was good to see my buddy, and then it's good to, me and cars, You know,
I've heard.
I want a new one all the time. Also,
Yeah.
rolling around LA in a 95 Defender 90, I would get so many dudes wanting to talk to me.
I was gonna say, I was waiting for it. I was like, just
you better not say chicks because it's
bros.
not.
It's bros. It's bros. Like, it's so funny. Yeah. That is car stuff. Like, it's 9 out of 10 dudes being like, yes, bro. And then one girl just like, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's pretty color. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take
Cool,
it. I'll take
cool,
it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yep. Which is great. This is fine.
Yeah. So it was all in all, it was a fun week, which led
That's
into
dope.
one of the most exciting weekend. I mean, here's the thing.
Unbelievable.
You and I we talked about it, like, what's the rest of the season going to be like now that Max has locked it up so quickly.
Yep.
And what was it? Coda was pretty clean. Mexico was clean. It was fine. It was fun, but really, it was fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, and also, I'm just opening a beer here, cracking it open.
That makes me want to open a bottle of wine right now.
Get into it.
Which I was not planning on.
Now you got to get into it. We got to celebrate how much fun this was. It truly was.
Dog, it was so fun.
Last week, we were just talking about potentially the only drama left to really tune in for was this fight between Leclerc and Checo, which, boy,
and Mercedes Ferrari, too.
And Mercedes Ferrari, and it's like, boy, did we not know what we were in for
Holy
all
shit.
of these storylines to absolutely explode, and then some. And then we left this weekend with multiple teams having massive rifts between the teammates.
My God, it's so fun.
Just Red Bull having the most fireworks, Ferrari asking for team orders, Alpine bitching at each other for team orders,
crashing into each other in the I think in the sprint race.
In the sprint, crashing in the sprint, and then Ocon not wanting to let Alonso through, who was clearly on a faster pace.
Yep.
And then Stroll almost taking out and/or potentially killing Vettel in his insane move during
what the fuck was that during the sprint?
It was brutal move.
Yeah.
And so coming into this week, I was like, yeah, we'll see how this goes. And then out of nowhere, both races, the sprint and the actual race, were out of control. It was so much fun.
Dude,
it was
I think they said there were 37 overtakes during the sprint race.
Damn, that's awesome.
I mean, it was incredible start to finish. And before we dive into the details of this as well, if you don't remember how the sprint race works exactly, we did cover this in a previous episode. So if you go back to the April 17th episode, it's in the title Imola sprint format. You can refresh yourself on how the sprint works, so we don't have to cover it again.
There's only 3 sprint races this year, and then next year they approved 6 sprint races,
which I love.
After this week, it's one of those things where the first sprint, I remember when we talked about it back in April, the first sprint, we were kind of like, I don't know, we'll see. Like, it's clearly a money grab. It's a lot of risk, whatever. And then by the end of the year after this one, I'm like, make every weekend a sprint race.
Dude,
Let's
for real.
go.
Yeah, for real. It was insane. All right, well, let's get into it because there's a lot of drama to talk about, and we can't wait to talk about the team order dramas. But sprint race. I mean, so much fun watching this. Huge congrats to Kevin Magnussen for taking his first P1, man. That was so fun to watch.
That was incredible because it was a slow build. He's P1, he's on provisional pole, and everyone was on inters. And then shout out to Ferrari for blowing that again for Leclerc.
Of course. Am I the only one on inters?
Yeah.
The pause. You are the only one on inters.
And then beautiful, fucking beautiful. Like that's what I say. He goes beautiful, fucking beautiful. It's just his attitude now. Like it's such a bummer because like even later in the race with the when he asked for the position of Carlos, which we'll get to, but I don't think that was a deserved position. It was too risky anyway, which is what they said. They go too risky, and he just goes, good joke. Like he's so beaten down, man. It sucks so bad for Leclerc, but
at the same time, though, Fernando was like a second behind Leclerc. like
Totally.
1.4, and he was 4 seconds behind Carlos. So it's kind of
Exactly.
like, that is kind of risky.
It's I totally, for the first time in my short, beautiful life, I agree with the Ferrari strategist
Well,
call.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that was the right call. Clearly, Charles, it's every driver. They're going to want to do what's best for the interest of them and the championship and them personally. We saw that tenfold today, where no matter how much the team is involved, no matter how much of you have a relationship, at the end of the day, Formula One drivers are me, dude. Me. Like every time. And so, which for better or worse, it's the best. It's dramatic. It's super fun. But poor Leclerc, indecision. He's on the inters as the rain is drying up. Everyone goes to slicks. Everyone puts in really hot laps,
paces,
real quick. The times drop all the way down into like the minute 11s, 110s, all the way down. And poor Leclerc stuck back on the inter times. Magnussen is in P1 on provisional pole when all of a sudden it starts. Oh, well, no, before that.
He got out first.
Friend,
he was the first one to get to do the lap, right?
To do the lap. And so he's on provisional pole. Cut to your boy, George Russell, spinning and beaching himself into the gravel, which unnecessarily, I mean, I say this now because we have it in slow-mo replay, but he gunned it to turn around. He was out of the gravel, and then he made that maneuver, that quick whip around, which I don't know if that was fully necessary. Here I'm like, I don't know if that professional driver needed to do that. I don't know. But he whipped around. It was the move that ended up putting him in the gravel, beaching him up. Thus, red flagging the session, and then they resumed the session. But by that time it was resumed, the rain had started coming down so strong that Magnussen, no one could put on slicks and beat Magnussen's time. So boom, Haas, the first pole position for Magnussen in his career. He was crying in the interview. Dude, it was the best. So good for him.
He wasn't George Russell crying, so if you didn't watch his interview, he for sure held it together pretty well. Yeah. Because when you said he was crying in the interview, I was like, what? And then I watched it again, and I was like, yeah, he's getting a little emotional. But he's emotional. Not George Russelling this. That fucking goober. George Russell looks like... Anytime I've been watching George Russell so close, it's kind of weird. Anytime he puts his hands on his hips, he looks like Forrest Gump when he's standing on the boat waving at Lieutenant Dan, right? And then anytime you watch him talk post race, he does this every single time. He holds onto the microphone, and then right when he goes to talk, right hand goes on, or it's probably left hand because he's facing me, goes onto his hip, and he's just like, well, and he just fucking Woody.
Let me tell you. Yeah, he does look like Woody. Every time. He is such a goober. He's just like a PR formula. Like, it's just like they like churned him out in PR school, and they're like, just go say the right thing. There you go. Sometimes, but
But
incredible.
K-Mag, it was so funny to hear his radio when he goes, how'd we do? And the guy goes, Kevin, you are P1. No. Oh my. And he's like, just listening to his radio call. It was so genuine. Yeah. Like, I love those moments, where you could hear that, just that like, that passion, that like, oh my God, in his eye, in his voice. It was so great to see. Here's what I hated, because you were watching the international thing. Okay, so I had
Crofty and Brundle.
All right, I had Will Buxton, Julian Palmer, and Sam Collins. And I'm gonna throw some shade at Julian here, because Julian goes, I kind of feel bad for Kevin because it's just a sprint race. And I was like, fuck right off, dog. He's like, and Will and Sam both kind of hopped in on him as well, because they're like, I mean, he still gets the credit. He still gets the stat of P1. It's a Formula One motor race. He's starting pole. Like, let him have this. And I was like, but it's just not a Grand Prix. And I'm like, dude, his car sucks. What do you want him to do? We all saw him in the sprint easily get lapped by the top 6 cars quickly. Ferrari, Merc, and fucking Red Bull went
Yep.
through him, so he didn't even try. The only thing I
No.
think he had an opportunity to try to hold on to a little bit stronger, and he didn't push too hard, was Lando in
Yep.
McLaren. Which, you know, when Lando had that fucking DRS open, there's no question how much faster he was than the Haas.
Yep.
But I think this is huge for Haas for a couple things. Because one, Haas gets to show, look what we can do.
Yep.
Like, we made a great strategy call. We have a good driver. They make good decisions. And then look what happens. We need more money.
Yep.
Like, look at how handedly we got past.
Yep.
But we can do it. So I really
Absolutely.
think this is a good opportunity, good leverage point for Haas to really grow.
Absolutely. And to that end, they just signed a $60 million sponsorship deal with MoneyGram. And so going into next year, they're going to have, I think it's a 3-year, $60 million. So it's $20 million a year. I think that's the right number. Double check that. But either way, they have a big injection of money now and enough to hopefully, take that next step. And the rumors are that Hülkenberg is going to come in. So Hülkenberg and Magnussen, the old suck my balls duo, is going to be amazing. And
so fun.
I hope that money definitely gives them that next step, or at least that stability, or I guess consistency is the word I'm looking for, to fight a little bit further up the midfield than they did this year. They were so tumultuous, but
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if they can stay in battle with, I mean, Alpine's going to be, it seems like they're going to be pretty tough to beat.
Yeah.
But if they could stay up there with the Alfa Romeos and if they could stay up there with the McLarens too, I mean, I know that's kind of an Alpine class, but
if they creep up on the heels of the top of the midfield, you know, if they're kind of in the center, if they're like pushing over, you know, I see them next year fighting with AlphaTauri and hopefully an Alfa Romeo and hopefully beating them. And so that would be especially with having really experienced drivers with Hülkenberg allegedly and Magnussen. That'd be awesome. So really positive, good things for them. Such a really fun, good, exciting way to end the year, minus Magnussen not having a great actual race day. But I know overall a good showing by Haas. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good shot. One more shit on Jolyon is even during the sprint, he even was like, you know, he's just not even fighting. It's like he's in a B-spec race. And I'm like, bro,
come on, man.
Look at his car, dog. Like you're a racer, you're a former racer.
Yeah.
You know this. His car sucks. Let him fucking have it.
Yeah. Formula One is not, it's not like it's complete meritocracy when it comes to the car. So you got to know that these cars just don't have the pace.
Right.
Totally different. So interesting that he wouldn't acknowledge that. That's weird. Crofty and Brundle were basically like, hell yeah, K-Mag, let's go.
Will Buxton and Sam, same way. Yeah, for sure.
You got to be happy for someone like that, especially someone who was just in IndyCar last year.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't even in Formula One. And so he was trying to make his career make sense, getting tossed from Haas. Now he's back with the pole position, and just seeing him and Gunter like hugging and the Haas garage going nuts, minus whoever that one lady was who was mean to me in the Mexico City airport. I hope she had a bad day, but I hope everyone else had a great time. It's very exciting.
Oh man. And like even I mean, speaking of great times, let's talk about Mercedes.
Boom.
I mean, congrats to George Russell on
first
his huge win, and a 1-2 Mercedes, which puts them 19 points. Let me see this constructors. They are 19 points away.
Yeah, hopefully this
Ferrari.
1-2 gets them some more money. Hopefully this going into next year gets Mercedes more, just like Haas. They need the money. They need the research and development.
Oh man, but it was fun listening to whoever the technical director was that they were interviewing, not Toto.
Bono?
I think is who it was. Because you had said that Toto had mentioned how we basically went backwards, and we can almost pinpoint where we made our mistake in the design. Yeah. And then now we're coming back out of it. And the guy said, he goes, I think we are because he was asked, how do you feel for next year? Are you behind schedule still? Do you still feel like are you good? He goes, I actually think we're ahead of schedule now.
Nice.
We didn't think this was going to be possible this year. We thought we would need more time, but
yeah,
Mexico was a great showing at altitude nonetheless.
Yeah.
And now they're at small altitude, much lower altitude. But their straight line speed is looking incredible.
That's terrifying for other teams to see them catching on and finally, especially if they're saying that outwardly, because we know that the Mercedes MO in the media is always we're terrible, everyone else is better than us, let's see what happens, everyone else is scary. And then for them to be confident and like say, yes, we're making strides, we're looking good, that's awesome. I'm excited for them. It's really exciting because there was a few things that happened this race that made their competition seem extremely unlikable. And to me,
what happened, Geoff? I may have missed that.
It just made me. Oh boy!
Well, let's say this too. I mean, I don't think Red Bull they didn't have speed today.
They didn't have the tires.
Got the same car.
Yeah.
And Checo's straight line speed was getting whooped up by everybody.
Well, his tires, he was on, especially after that safety car, he was on mediums. Everyone else was on soft, and they were just blowing past him. It just was the wrong tire strategy. He got caught out because of that safety car. And then also what's frustrating is they should have put him on softs because they had that data. They knew that Max was garbage the day before on mediums. They should have put him on softs. Here I am like, come on, guys, you should have done this. But to that end,
it's the point of the podcast.
It absolutely destroyed Checo's chances, and his race was just gone at that point. The last stint of the race, just abysmal. Poor. If you're a Checo fan, my God, I am so sorry. What a disaster of a race for him, and just also morale. Like, he just was treated like shit today. It just was a bad situation. On top of that, Leclerc and him are now tied at 290 going into Abu Dhabi, which is unnecessary pressure that shouldn't have been there. And then on top, so if you watch the race and you've been paying attention at all, you know what happened. The biggest controversy was Max Verstappen is in the position in front of Checo going into the final 3 laps. They say, hey, Max, we need that point for Checo to get second in the championship because that matters monetarily, marketing, just overall vibe and morale. And also, I don't know. You've also won. Everyone, it's over. Also, just so you know, the amount of things, the laundry list of favors that Checo has done for you to win those 2 world championships in the last 2 years is so deep and so long. So this is no skin off your back. Please just give him the place. Max doesn't do that.
Refused.
To really no one's surprise.
Yeah, right.
And then on top of that, in my mind, this was so stupid of him, beyond just being hard-headed and selfish and just a really shitty move, like genuinely not even unlikable, just garbage, like just a shitty move. Crosses the line and then fires off at the engineer who's like, hey, what happened there? And he's like,
wasn't it to Christian? I think it was to Horner.
I don't know if it was to Christian or if it was to, it might've been to Christian, or someone said, what happened there? And he goes, we've talked about this. I have my reasons. I stand by them. Do not bring it up again. Essentially, I'm the man. Don't ever ask me to
do this again.
Don't ever ask me to do this again. I run this team. I'm bigger than the team, and fuck everyone else. And oh my God, what a message to send this late in the season. What a divide to create out of nowhere, unnecessarily create this for no reason. Also, I just love that Mercedes went 1 and 2 and Red Bull still finds a way to steal the headlines from just bombing each other internally. they just find a way to just absolutely skewer the media by being shitheads. He couldn't do it. Max couldn't make it out without being the headline of, what's going on at Red Bull.
Yeah.
So what a mess. It also affects so much of the rest of the year. Obviously, going to Abu Dhabi, it's super high stakes for Checo and Leclerc.
Yep.
And then shout out to Max for trying to save it in the interview. He's like, well, now that we've got this out of the way, basically like now, well, we'll talk about why he thinks he deserved to not give up that place. But he also was like, I'll help him going forward. Cool, man. Today was the day you should have done that. That's where you like, it's too late. Maybe there's an opportunity in Abu Dhabi. Sure. But the fact that you didn't today doesn't matter. Your actions already spoke for you. And what he was saying, or what was people were alluding to immediately, was there's a conspiracy or a controversy or just a theory that Checo during quali in Monaco this year, which a race he went on to win, he botched a lap, intentionally into the wall, crashed while Max was on his hot lap.
This is the conspiracy.
This is a conspiracy that Checo intentionally crashed, and then that put him in position to then win the Monaco Grand Prix. Max still feels like that was a slight to him, completely forgetting about all the incredible things Checo's done for him to help him win those world championships. But that one little slight he's clearly held on to, whether that's true or not. And then now, even in interviews, someone asked, is it about Monaco? And he's like, you can decide. It's like, dude, just say no.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Could be a little fucking child, dude.
You're a child. It's like, it is that like angry little selfish child. Like, if no one can play, like if I can't play, no one can play. And like he's taking his ball, taking his soft compounds and going home. Like that's what he's doing. It's
with
crazy.
His soft skin.
Yeah. It made me so mad. It was really frustrating to see such poor character out of someone who has you've won. You've already won.
Right.
You've nothing. There's no problem. And just to be able to be like, I don't care about the team. I don't care about my teammate, no matter what they've done. It just was that true moment of like, man, you do suck. Like that. Like, it's a bummer to really see someone like in their true, like, damn, that's a bummer. Really disappointing, super disappointing. And then on top of that, just to continually yell about this, it causes a ton of problems for Red Bull as a team, because now people are talking about calling an investigation to Checo in Monaco. Did he actually, or will he admit to, or did he admit to intentionally crashing in that quali lap, which then they can retroactively go and give him consequences going into Abu Dhabi or next year.
Right.
It affects a lot of things, and it makes huge headaches for Red Bull and Checo unnecessarily. None of this would have happened if, let's say, Max could have just been like, I'm not giving it up, meant internally, crosses the line, gets the position. Good for you, dude. You did it. And then doesn't have to say anything on the radio. He could just be quiet, or he could just say, sorry, it was too risky. Didn't want to risk it. That's it. He does none of that. He causes a PR shitstorm, doubles down in the interviews, and then causes massive rift between him and Checo. So I don't know. Good luck going back to Mexico next year, Max. It's not going to happen. No one's going to. It's like you blew it, dude. Like really bad. It was a really bad moment.
An entire country hates you as much as they hated their pit crew.
Yeah. Yeah.
It like someone at the watch party I was at today brought up a great point where, like, just to beat a dead horse a little bit, is like, if you want him to help you again, like, to give it to him.
Come on.
Like what? Yeah. Why are you sacrificing next year? He's going to be there next year, and now you don't have a buddy anymore. Now you have a guy that's not going to hold off Lewis to give you an 8-second gap. Now you have a guy that he passed me. Ain't that a bitch?
Sorry.
Have fun with that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You can decide if you think I should have defended or not.
I'm sorry, dude. I made a mistake. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah.
Sorry. Lewis is good. Sorry.
Yeah.
And another conspiracy now that in less than an hour that was bubbling up after the controversy is Danny Rick is now semi-confirmed. Rumors are swirling that he's the reserve driver for Red Bull. If that's true,
really.
Yeah, so that's been swirling this week. It seems like Danny Rick is going to be confirmed soon as the reserve driver for Red Bull next year. And people are already saying, is this Max's campaign to get Danny Rick in that second seat? Which I don't know why he would want Danny Rick there. Checo has been nothing but the exceptional, perfect teammate. And that's why this makes no sense for him to throw him under the bus and treat him like this with nothing really at stake for him. It just, again, goes back to like, oh, you're just a bad guy. So cool.
Yep.
bummer.
I love it. Now everyone's getting more reasons to hate Max. Hop on the Gill train.
Welcome. You're like, oh, seems like some of you guys are real late to the party. Myself included. I pressed pretty hard. I gave him the benefit of the doubt for a long time. And this was like truly just like, God damn, man, what are you doing? Like it was just a grimy move. And
what are your thoughts on giving up points like that? Like, do you think it should be like in the Leclerc Sainz a debate? I think don't do it. I do think they made a good call of like it was too risky. And it would have taken a podium from Carlos. Like that was kind of a big ask.
Yeah.
In the Max Verstappen thing, obviously it seems to be a little more clear. But do you think, like, I don't know, do you think it's okay? Do you think it should be like what are your thoughts in general on like give it to it because it's for the greater good and you should always kind of do it? Or, like I kind of because at the same time, just to play devil's advocate, drive faster, Checo. You had a 4-second gap behind me. And my fucking car was fucked up a little bit. So drive a little faster, champ.
Yeah.
Just a thought. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's pure. I think it absolutely comes down to the situation.
Okay.
I think for Checo, it wasn't Checo's fault that he was on mediums. I think that's the team's issue, that they put him in a position to then be outpaced by his other drivers, not even just Max, but the other people who were blowing by him strictly on tire strategy. Again, there's some luck involved in that, but when I see it from the perspective of team first, driver first, to me, it comes down to the situation. I totally agree with Ferrari. Of course, I see Leclerc's perspective. Like he's fighting for the championship. That number 2 means a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like, think about the perspective. Absolutely not. If I'm Ferrari, am I switching Carlos or Leclerc? Even after all we've been through this year where people think that, Ferrari doesn't care about Carlos. Carlos has done an incredible job for all the bad luck that has happened to him this year.
Yeah.
So for sure, he deserves that podium. He had a great race. Leclerc, obviously high stakes, once second in the championship, but there's one more race. He didn't get it done today. And by the way, I mean, he didn't get it done. Lando crashed into him. So sure, again, just very unlucky turn of events for him. But when it comes down to team orders, I think for me, I love seeing good teamwork. I love when it works out, but also I think it's mostly because I'm always surprised when drivers adhere to team orders. My gut reaction is absolutely not. There's no way they're going to do that. And then when they do, I'm pleasantly surprised by the teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think, to me, it's so egregious that Checo has adhered to the team. He's been such a good teammate. He's done everything in his power to help Max. So anytime team orders roll through, Checo doesn't really fight it. He works with the team. He's there for, constructors and to help Max. So then to see Max kind of throw all of that goodwill out the window is what I think is so frustrating to me. If this was a single situation where Max is being selfish, we kind of know what Max is anyway.
Yeah.
But all of that building up, plus 0 stakes for Max, a lot of stakes for Checo, and he still is blind to that. That's when I get frustrated. That's when it's like, come on, man. So I think it's a case-to-case basis of what's at stake. And so when I see people with high stakes and then blowing it, or low stakes and then leaning into it, it just depends. It kind of, the fun one today was Alpine with Ocon in front of Alonso, and the team orders coming in saying, hey, Alonso has faster pace, you got to get out of the way. And then the engineer coming in like a school teacher going, Esteban, listen, Esteban, using the first name. It's like the middle name version of F1. They're like, Esteban, do not fight with him. Am I clear?
Esteban,
it's like two little
Emilio
brothers.
Ocon, get over here, pull over right now, and let this man go by.
Grabbing him by his ear.
Yeah,
you could totally see him just like, do not fight with him. And Esteban, like, with all his might, no, absolutely no. He like didn't want to. He would not acknowledge or confirm that he would or would not fight with Alonso. in the end, he didn't fight with him. Alonso flew past him, but you could tell Esteban was like, I don't like this. This is not for me, especially with Alonso leaving. All he had to say about, they crashed together in the sprint race.
Yeah.
Alonso ended up getting a penalty for that. He hit the curb and kind of slid out, and they took some damage, but and then called him my friend. He's like, yep. He's like, our friend. He said, our friend. It was our friend's fault. So you can tell no love lost with the Alpine bros right now. But yeah. Man.
And Fernando had a hell of a drive.
Oh, great.
He got screwed early. Well, a lot of people got chaos from the top of the race.
Crazy.
Our bummer for our boy K-Mag and fucking Danny Rick. I was so mad about that move. I mean, it really feels like it kind of smudged his record on the way out. You know what I mean? It's like, Danny, come on. Everyone was pulling for him. Why'd you have to do that?
He also said going into the race, he's like, I'm just going to go out there and have fun. And then just that move was just so like, man, it just was a bad
fun.
It just looked like he couldn't stop. Like it was too much. And he bit off too much that he could chew, and then couldn't dodge K-Mag. It just was a bad situation. It sucked.
But Fernando got spun around. I forget who got him, but he got spun around, got put to the back of the grid, made up 12 spots. I think
crazy.
I think there were 10 laps left or so, and he was already 12 spots up. I mean,
crazy, phenomenal
drive out of him. And I thought he was going to get driver of the day. But Lewis got driver of the day.
Yep.
With a incredibly low 17%. Like, what a split.
Yeah, it just goes to show
felt like the
how many good drivers there were today.
Yeah.
What a fun race. And so many people like Leclerc getting tossed all the way to the back and then getting all the way back up into the points. And Lewis having an incredible drive. George having an incredible drive, getting his debut win.
Lewis having that incident with Max too.
Oh yeah,
that
classic.
Pushed him back, I think, to 8th or 9th, and then just charges his way back up to 2nd.
Yeah. Also, Lewis in the interview just being like, I was talking to my brother-in-law Derek about this, and it was just so funny because Lewis was like, he's that kind of PR answer. He's like, we came together, whatever, and then you just see him kind of like pause, and he's like, you know how it is with Max. He's like, he's just like, what, you get it. So you guys,
be how he gonna be.
You guys all saw the cameras. You know how it is. Yeah, it's like. Kind of
man.
Totally. So,
dude, it was it was wild. I don't know how I feel, how I felt about him getting that, but it was fun to watch him drive and just clean up with that fast pace.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
And I was kind of wondering if he was. I mean, I know Lewis is a winner. I know Lewis is very level-headed and knows this doesn't matter. This whole season's done for.
Yep.
So I kind of wonder. I mean, I'm sure Lewis was pushing, but I watched his pace kind of drop a little bit behind George, and I kind of wonder if Lewis was like, let the kid have one. I'm second. None of this matters. I got 109 wins. It's fine. Like,
it's like, whatever, dude.
Have your first one. It's great. Join the party. We'll battle it out next week. And
you could tell there definitely was like I'm gunning for it. Let's see how it goes. And then Russell, to his credit, he just
kept charging,
matching those lap times. And so,
and he got the fastest lap. George did.
Oh, he did. I didn't know. I totally forgot. I was the only time I was paying attention to the fastest lap was when Leclerc and Max kept doing it at the bottom. They were like all the way at the back of the grid, and they kept putting them in. It's right after they got new tires, but yeah, man, good for him.
Fastest lap was George. He got 26 points.
Damn, that's huge.
It was huge. Yeah, it was really big.
For the year Mercedes has had.
It's incredible where they're standing right now.
It's true. It's incredible. I can't believe that they are. They were just consistently fine. And that they were consistently fine for their standards.
Yeah.
For any other team, they're like, it's the greatest year they've ever had. But
getting
for Mercedes
driven
standards,
by Toto, not good enough.
No, to the Death Star.
Dude, let's be real. How do you think George Russell is going to celebrate this win? Like the first thing when I think George Russell, like I hope he was on the radio, like Sherry for everyone on me. Like what the fuck do you think
Fetch my hounds. We're going for a fox hunt tonight. It's so, yeah.
I'm gonna have a lump of sugar in my tea tonight.
Ooh.
Go a little while, stays up till 9:30.
Ooh, I'm gonna get my good loafers out tonight. Yeah.
Toto says that I can have candy today.
Toto's not here. Let's get crazy tonight. I don't know why. I don't know why he's like a vampire all of a sudden. My accent's terrible. Ooh,
dude! At the end of the race, he's probably like, "Now this is switched with sparkling cider, correct? It's not the actual one.
This is Martinelli's."
Mommy said I cannot have alcohol until I rehydrate.
Yeah, that's like exactly how he parties.
Wine. He's like, "Yeah, it's not. I can't."
He's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna spend an extra 5 minutes of screen time on Instagram tonight."
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, that's one extra episode of Frasier."
Yeah. That's exactly how he celebrates.
Oh man, he doesn't do a dive into the pool. He like does, I don't know. I don't know what he would do. He dives into a bath of rose petals. He's like, "Yeah, so refreshing."
Also, this was the first time that the British national anthem was played this year, because no British driver won this year before. And it was also the first time in Formula One that now the national anthem is God Save the King, because the Queen, I don't know if you know about this, she fucking died. So,
really?
Yeah. She's
that old hag finally
dead. She gone.
She gone.
So, yeah. So it's God Save the King, which doesn't sound right. No. Mostly because for the last however many million decades, it's been God Save the Queen. But yeah, God Save the King. Shout out to George Russell. He is now the king,
I guess.
Yeah.
Did you watch? So you were watching the international broadcast. I was watching that at the watch party today, and at the end, they were interviewing the dude from Mercedes, and they brought Toto on because Toto wasn't there. Toto hasn't been showing up lately, and I don't know why.
He chalked it up to budgetary issues. They were like, "We're saving money on travel," which, it's like, I'm taking this year off. If we're losing, I'm hanging out with my family. That's what it really feels like.
Yeah.
That's what it really feels like.
I'm going to cut this budget so we can still have catering.
Apparently catering does a lot for the research and development of a car.
That's going to be my joke of the year for this season is catering.
That's truly. Yeah, we have to do a year in review, who gets the Mazzy for the whole year. And it might be the Red Bull team of chefs.
Y'all just making this shit too good.
Yeah, it is.
But
some saucy.
He was gone, which I thought was interesting because there's a lot of fun phone calls. When Haas got P1, Gene Haas called Gunter. Like he was on the phone on the pit wall. You could see a huge smile on Gunter's
pumped.
And then they FaceTimed with Toto afterward as well, which I thought was really cool. And then they interviewed Toto while they were interviewing the Mercedes guy, and they had Toto on a walkie-talkie so the interviewers could hear him. But for the entire fucking interview, Toto's audio wasn't public.
God damn it.
And like part of me wondered, is like, I bet you that's Mercedes. Like, we don't really want everyone to know this. But then also too, to keep cutting back to him, and then they would respond because clearly they could hear what he was saying. Yeah. And they'd respond and they cut back and no one knew it. No one's paying attention.
No producer was like, "Hey, we can't hear what's going on."
What the fuck? No one's like, "Hey, Larry, we can't hear Toto." No one's sending a text.
It's such a bold move from a production standpoint to be like, "Hey, can we pipe him in via Zoom and then also just see how it goes live on television?" That's crazy. That is crazy.
Let's wing it this time. Look,
and then also when it goes bad, and then you just double down. You're like, "This is what we're doing."
Back to him. Let's keep hearing him.
Come on, crazy.
He truly did look happy, by the way.
He was he looked like he wasn't at work. Is what it looked like. It looked like he didn't have to travel and to Brazil. Which,
man,
sure.
I wonder if I think they can do it. So basically, will Merck? So let's see if we can do this math. How does Merck get second in the Constructor Cup?
I don't know. There's no way I can do
they're
math
19
right now.
pounds down, so they need to get at least if they can get a 1-2 again, and Ferrari is less than I think 3-4 or maybe 4-5. I think they'll take it.
Yeah, that would be. The fact that they have a chance is crazy to me. that they could
Dude,
even.
if they can squeak this out, dude, at the end of the year, that's going to be so much fun. Good Ferrari. I had every hope and dream for you at the start of the season. I was like, Ferrari's back, baby. Let's go. I was so ready for it. I was like, we'll let Mercedes take a break. And then to see how hard it's been for Mercedes, and how fucking annoyingly frustrating Ferrari has been. I'm like, good.
Pain.
Good.
Just
fuck you,
pain.
Ferrari. You should lose this. You are dumb.
My hope for next year is that only just coming off the heels of today and how frustrating Red Bull was today, my hope is that the 10% wind tunnel sanctions and development consequences they have from having too much tapioca pudding and crust, whatever,
and boba balls in there,
delicious, boba tea, for going a little overboard with that, for somehow translates to very high rocket power in their car. I hope that affects them enough to drop them down. Mm-hmm. This is obviously not going to happen. I hope Merc
dream. It's fun. It's fun to be a boy that has dreams.
It is. I hope Merc takes that step forward. That clearly the optimism is there and the momentum is there. That I hope they take that into next year and they are now competing back at the top consistently for the 1s and 2s and the 3s. And then I hope Ferrari, I don't know, man, just fires everyone or poaches somebody from Red Bull strategy. They get Hannah. I don't know. Just bring someone in. I hope they just tighten their shit up. That's all it is. I hope that they figure out and they give Leclerc the ingredients that he deserves to succeed. I hope Carlos's luck has been just awful. Man. And not even really the team screwing him over as much as gravel traps popping up out of nowhere, dude. And so that's what I hope for that. And I just really want a true battle of 3 massive teams all battling. What I really want is all 3 of those battling for 2, 3, and 4, and McLaren to just be a clear number 1 next year. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah, good luck.
We can dream. We can dream.
A boy can have dreams.
Yeah.
It will be fun to see once these cars are designed for Lewis and George and they're kind of set up correctly, and they got that speed, it's going to be fun to watch them going at it. Because George is clearly very good. He's very skilled at what he's doing. He's a good technical driver. So is Lewis. They both seem to be very clean with how they race. And that's going to be fun to watch that. That like the two of them duke it out in a car that can fight. They're
clean against each other. George is like, if it's Checo, I'm going to drive into him. I'm going to turn into him.
I might give Lewis a little more space, but I want to fucking win.
But other than that, I'm going to turn into totally, for sure. Man, super exciting. I just didn't expect this from
at all.
The second to last race of this year.
Yeah.
What a little injection of excitement. Abu Dhabi now has like it's built up. Like it's exciting that obviously the championships are wrapped up, but for the ability to have like this excitement and drama going into the last race, awesome. It's so good for the sport.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And like we had talked about it too. It's like, and now I'm wondering if you and I talked about this off air or on air. So I'm sorry if this is a repeat and stop me if it is, but it's, when Max locked it in so quick and Red Bull's just dominating, we were kind of concerned, like, how's the rest of the season going to go?
Yeah.
Is it going to be exciting or not? Like, what do we look like? Why are we here now? We know who won.
What's the point?
Boy, I mean, an injection of excitement is a perfect phrase because it really was like from the sprint on, like, yes, this is incredible. It's so fun. And now to see these battles for Merc and Ferrari, for Haas and AlphaTauri, for the drivers with Checo and Leclerc, it really, really is exciting to kind of see, like, you're right, it's coming down to the end and maybe we're just nerds with F1 now and we're like all in it.
Yeah.
This couldn't have been a better, second to last race. Yeah. And I'm really excited for next week as well. So
it's awesome.
So, all right. Now we're at the Mazzy. It's a tough one. There's a lot of Mazziable things this week.
A lot of shithousery going on this weekend.
There really is. From the bad Sky Sports to bad calls from Ferrari again. It seems like a
Mhm.
broken record, giving it to Ferrari's pit wall again.
Yeah.
To do radio calls and stuff like that. But Geoff, I think we agree on this. Tell us who our
Absolutely.
Mazzy is. You changed my mind on it, and I think this is the best call.
If you didn't listen to one word of me screaming at the top of my lungs of how
I wanted
frustrated
to give you this one. I didn't want to
I
take
was.
it from you. You're passionate.
I appreciate it. It really hurt my heart because I like I said, I give a lot of benefit of the doubt to most people. I really try, and I've given him so much slack over the years, and then today it really just bothered me so much that the Mazzy clearly goes to the brain, the brain chemistry of Max Verstappen and just what he thinks with the sound effects. Absolutely.
Oh man, and I even added that one. That wasn't.
I love it. That was perfect. That was live production. It just his genetic makeup, his controversial upbringing, just the way he views the world wins the Mazzy Award.
Yeah.
His ability to be a complete asshole today with nothing at stake other than help your teammate who has done so much for you. The Mazzy just it's the biggest sculpture you've ever seen of an award, giving to trophy just right to Max, stomping out his car. God
this
damn it.
award is going to be the size of a Flava Flav clock around his neck. That's how big this Mazzy is for Max, for being so short-sighted and selfish. It just
bummer.
Yeah, it really was. But he deserved it. So congrats, Max, on your what did you 6th place win? nice spot.
Sick, dude.
But yeah, good on George Russell. Congrats on your first win. You Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Woody from Toy Story looking motherfucker.
Yep. Enjoy your extra serving of pudding tonight.
Maybe they'll let me have chocolate instead of just vanilla.
Ooh, maybe some sprinkles.
So really excited for this. Abu Dhabi is going to be on the 20th, which is, I believe, next week.
It is.
It is next week. So one more week in the season. And then we're going to be here every week in the off season as well. So stick with us. We got some fun stuff planned.
Oh yeah.
And thank you everyone for what has so far been an amazing year for us, and first season for Grid Penalty Podcast.
Incredible. It's
been fun reaching out to everybody and chatting with everyone. It was funny. Christian reached out to me today in DMs about
Christian
Danny
Horner.
Ricciardo. No, yeah. He and I are back and forth. But
yeah,
dude, our buddy on Instagram, and he goes, R.I.P. to Geoff, because of how bad he just knew you were losing your fucking mind today.
Sad.
So thanks to everybody for reaching out.
We didn't even talk about McLaren. I don't even want to bring it up. McLaren both DNFs for McLarens.
Yeah.
So their season's torched, but
it wasn't good. So
sad days.
Well, we're excited to see you guys next week. Enjoy your week today. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Thanks for spending your afternoon and morning with us. And we'll see you guys next Monday in Abu Dhabi. Woo! At the Yas Marina Circuit. All right. We'll see you next week, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.